What is up? Welcome back. Vendetta Sports Media 2024-25 NBA season previews. My name is Matt Hanifan, and I'm here with Jackson Law. Today we're going to be doing the Oklahoma City Thunder, team who won 57 games last season. They finished the number one seed in the West, even though they suffered an unfortunate exit in the second round to the Dallas Mavericks. Anyway, this team got really good. Like they loaded up this offseason after winning 57 games last year. But first off, Jackson, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. I'm like with you. We'll get more in depth here, but I really love this OKC team. Love them.
Yeah. No,
Top to bottom.
I right now, I mean, I know this is like I'm jumping ahead here, but I do have them as like my clear cut number one seed in the West. There's really not another team outside of like maybe Denver. Like maybe that's a small percent. Maybe if you want to say Minnesota, even after the Randall Towns swap or whatever. I just think Oklahoma City's in that top tier. So I mean, getting into the nitty gritty, the nuts and bolts. They won 57 games last year, as I mentioned. I want to say like their preseason over under was like 47.5 or some shit, and they just completely blew that out of the water. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was an MVP candidate. Mark Dagnall, really became a probably top 5 coach, top 3 coach, however you want to put. I mean, at least he's there in my book. I don't know about you. Chet Holmgren, obviously, it wasn't his like rookie season because, I mean, they counted it as the rookie season, but it wasn't technically his rookie season.
Yeah, we've been having that arguments ever since Ben Simmons.
Yeah, or even like Blake.
Oh yeah, Blake. Yeah.
Anyway, he blossomed. Obviously, Jalen Williams was one of the most improved players in the entire league last year. He blossomed. You have a lot of young players who blossomed, but now you added Alex Caruso. They traded for Alex Caruso this offseason from the Chicago Bulls, who's one of the best guard defenders, point of attack defenders in the entire league. He's around a career, I want to say 40% 3-point shooter, so like he's not a slouch from deep at all. And he just does like literally everything that you want on a basketball court well. He does it not just well, he does it really, really well. And then they signed Isaiah Hartenstein. They kind of plucked him from the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks weren't able to give him as much money because of his early bird rights. So they were able to get him in free agency to add to this front court. This team is just really good. Like, this team is loaded. I'm not sure if that's going to amount to a championship. I'm not even sure if that's going to amount to them making the NBA finals, because as we all know, anything can happen. I mean, I know the NBA is more predictable than it is, other sports like baseball, like football, at a one-game sample, like hockey. But there still is parity. And so in this kind of new second apron realm, we talked about it. I mean, you brought it up when we did our Chicago Bulls preview. Please go check that out if you haven't already. But this team is like the Chicago Bulls are allocating more funds to their team than the Thunder, who are competing for a title, are for their team. And that just kind of speaks to where they're at. So they're not like in any second apron hell or anything like that.
No.
They have like 700 million first round picks. I've lost count at this point. They have more than literally anyone has anything else. So like they probably have more first round picks themselves than like every other team in the league combined. It's pretty crazy what Sam Presti's done there, building up this team, building up his asset treasure chest. Jackson, what are your thoughts on their offseason last season? What do you think?
I mean, definitely the big surprise of last season. Like you said, everyone thought they were going to be good last season, but not as good as they were. And I think a lot of that it starts with roster construction, and it's not just the big guys ever. It's them getting lucky, going out and getting a guy like Isaiah Joe, who's an absolute sniper, who was cut from the 76ers. And they picked him up off of a two-way, I want to say, is what they originally picked him up on, and then gave him a fully guaranteed contract. He's about $12 million, I think, over the next. They've got him, if they want him to, Isaiah Joe, for 4 years, because in 27-28 at $11.3 million, that is a team option.
Front loaded deal.
Front loaded deal goes down over time, which is what you want, because in the future, if this is working out, you need to keep this core together. Then you can start paying guys during the time where his contract is a little bit less, and you save a few million, and a few million could mean the difference between being a first apron and second apron team. So that's really big for being a competitor. I think just the thing that got in the way of them last year was their youth, their inexperience in the playoffs. It's as simple as that. To kind of bring it full circle here, them last year reminded me a lot of the Grizzlies a couple years ago, where the Grizzlies jumped from play-in team to winning a playoff series. And even with Ja going down with an injury, competing against Golden State, the year that Golden State goes on to win a title, a lot of that was inexperience, having a great core together, but obviously missing something. And I think they've got that missing something in Isaiah Hartenstein. Versatile weapon. He's got some offensive tools. Big thing, though, is rebounding. You've got him and Chet down low vying for rebounds. I think it's an incredible pairing. And of course, Shea is awesome, and they got guys, certified hoopers like Cason Wallace, true hooper. Love Cason. I thought that was great when they grabbed him up. Jalen Williams also, still got Lou Dort, which is crazy to me that you're going to have Caruso in your starting five and then Lou Dort coming off the bench. So there's just hell for, doesn't matter if you're on first team or second team, you're going to be facing someone that's going to be putting you in a defensive hellscape. But man, I really do love this team. If there's a team outside of my own personal team that I enjoy watching, it is the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're a fun basketball team to watch. They're going to be really good. They're still really young. We'll see how the experience they have of their early exit last season to Dallas plays into kind of the mentality going into this year. And they also stayed really healthy too. I think that's a underrated fact for their success, for them getting the number one seed, was the fact that they were healthy. So can they continue to stay healthy is a big question. As you know, you play more games, the wear and tear on your body, you want to go deeper. And so will they stay healthy? Will, like, Chet Holmgren, who again missed his entire supposed to be rookie season because of what looked like a very soft injury, or like a soft landing, but ended up being like really bad, and him sitting out the rest of the year. Are they deep enough to cover any type of injuries? That's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, they're a top tier team. Absolutely. And should definitely be one of the favorites coming out of the West to face presumably the Celtics in the NBA Finals. The Heat fan.
Boo.
The
No,
Heat
I'm
fan.
just kidding.
That's why I said
No, I mean,
presume. You never know what could happen. You never know what could happen.
yeah, I just really don't want to see those Celtics in the finals or anywhere close to it ever again. In my own unbiased opinion. The thing that I like what Oklahoma City shored up, and I know this doesn't fit their, they were a team last year who they were one of the few teams like the Celtics in the league who they're kind of shifting towards this 5-out brand of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I think that's what the league is trending towards now. Just for like more spacing, obviously you can cut off that, shoot whatever they like, dribble, drive, anything. Like, there's just more space to operate when you're in a 5-out kind of setting. And not that you can't necessarily do this with this particular player, but with Hartenstein, you really shore up your rebounding. And the Thunder were one of the worst rebounding teams in the entire league last year, even though they do have a guy like Chet who's like 7'12" or what. Like, he's he's gigantic. But they still lacked in that area. Like, they were still like they couldn't consistently crash the defensive glass, and they were a team that allowed a lot of offensive rebounds and second chance opportunities, and yet they still won 57 games. Now you get a guy in Isaiah Hartenstein who was the best rebounder on the best rebounding team in the league in the New York Knicks. He was a great offensive rebounder, defensive rebounder, and so you shore up that just a little bit more. in addition to probably Chet just getting stronger, obviously you're going to want, more game rebounding opportunities from Shea, from Jalen Williams, from Casey Wallace. Caruso's a good rebounder for his position. Like all of these guys that you were bringing in, like one guy they drafted in the second round. I'm not sure how much of a role he's going to have as a rookie, but Dylan Jones. Like Dylan Jones was one of the more productive players in college basketball last season. He's 6'4", 6'5", and yet averaged like 8 or 9 points a game. Like he was a freak on the glass. And so he's another guy who I just keep forgetting that he's there, and I just really like that for them because he was really good in college. But I just think like you shore up that area just a little bit more, and I think to be an NBA contender, or at least a perennial NBA contender, like you're going to need to be good defensively. You're going to need to be a top 10 defense at least, and then obviously you're going to need to put points up. So you're going to want to be one of the more efficient offenses, which Oklahoma City was. But you're going to need to be good on the glass too, and that kind of plays hand in hand with defensively. And so I think obviously you shore up that, but then you just get one of the best defenders on the planet at his respective position, maybe in all of basketball, and Alex Caruso, who again, like he's 6'5", he plays like he's 7 foot sometimes, like just his strength. But then like you see him on the perimeter, just walling off plays and shutting off water on dribble handoffs and
hustling for loose balls.
Yeah, diving for loose balls, creating deflections everywhere, every which way. Like he's crazy. He blows up every single play that you want him to blow up. Like you get him, it's just you're adding a different dimension to pair him up with Jalen Williams, who is an ascending defender. Shea, who I think took a little bit of a step back defensively, but he's still really good just because of the kind of load that he has offensively. Luguentz Dort, who we've seen him in a playoff setting and what he can do to
the torture chamber.
Yeah, the torture chamber, what he can do to an opposing team's best wing. Like you just add, obviously you get stronger and probably the most, probably one of their best defensively. Like you elevate your ceiling and your floor there when it was already incredibly, incredibly high relative to your peers. And you also shore up the rebounding aspect of things. Like this team's going to be really, really, really good. And I think, again, they're still going to be one of the best offenses in the entire league. That's not going to go away because you add these two guys, especially when you get rid of a guy who was a negative for you last year offensively in Josh Giddey.
Oh yeah, and then just the versatility of the lineup. You talk about how Hartenstein, the league moving towards a more 5-out set. If it gets to that point where you've got to kind of keep up, you're lagging behind a little bit and you need to go 5-out. You can go 5-out. You just basically run a similar lineup that you did last year that won you 57 games. You just kind of swap a few players out here and there, and then you've got guys on your bench that can continue to play that way. So, it's not the end of the world if you have that happen. You've got that infrastructure there that will help you in those situations and can meet the demands of here's what we want to do, but then here's the reality of how the game is going, and we've got to adapt and we've got to change. And that's what wins basketball games, honestly, especially in the playoffs, is the ability to be versatile, to be fairly deep, and to make those adjustments as the series goes on. So, I think they can. What's their over under right now for wins this year?
You're asking the degenerate here. I want to say it was 56.5. Let me look.
56.5. I think if they stay healthy, they can hit that again.
If I'm being completely honest here, hold on. I'll check my portfolio in a second.
Did you bet? Did you bet on it? Yeah. There we go.
I'm not gonna spill the beans here, but I made way too many NBA futures bets heading into the season.
No, everyone should see the Slack every game day, game night, Sunday
for football.
For football. Saturday.
I even forgot to do it tonight.
Yeah,
but, come on. while I'm pulling this up. I want to say it's 56.5.
56.5. Okay.
I apologize for the delay.
Even if they don't get to that, if they just fall a little short of it, I still think you've got to consider them as the number 1 seed in the Western Conference because there's just some unknowns. Trying to throw my bias out the window, with the Grizzlies coming back, they're already a little injured again. Um, I'll put them on blast. Ortho South in Memphis, you guys need to leave. Like the Grizzlies need to disassociate with them because it feels like ever since they've been attached to that group of people, we've had all these horrific injuries that have been going down.
It's
But
55.5, by the way.
55.5. Okay.
55.5. I'm looking at it right now. Plus 310 to win the West, which is the best odds. Plus 130 to finish as the number 1 seed in the West. I mean, what are their title odds? Plus 650. So.
Okay.
That's second highest behind Boston, which is the clear-cut in favorite, despite some people here believing they're underdogs.
Yeah. Just got a cameo by my wife, by the way. I don't know if you were paying attention.
No, I wasn't.
So that she accidentally walked into frame. But yeah, no, they're the clear favorites out west, in my opinion. We'll see how the season goes, obviously. But yeah, I think they're number 1 seed. Western Conference should be the favorites in every series that they play, depending on how the season plays out. Should be the favorites to make it out of the West, even though they weren't the team to make it out last year. But you want to believe that everyone's a year older, they're a year better, another off season full of work, everybody healthy, and of course now they've gotten a taste of what true playoff basketball is like. They understand what it takes to win at that level now, at least a little bit, maybe not fully, but they've got the talent, just the raw talent that can kind of push them through. And yeah, of course, someone like Caruso is going to be valuable in the playoffs.
Oh my God, yeah. And it sucks because, I mean, they wouldn't have gotten this guy if it wasn't for the injury, but Nikola Topic.
Yeah.
They drafted him, I want to say it was 12 overall. They got him in the first round.
Yeah.
I'm very, very interested to see how that situation, develops, just because he's another point guard. They have Shea, they have Kaysen, they have all these guys, and it's just like, how are you exactly going to incorporate him in a year when he's healthy? Like,
I know.
Again, he's still young, he's still raw. The shot's not great, but he was a phenomenal passer.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and then it's just
phenomenal finisher too.
You talk about they have 1 million first-round picks. What are they going to do with those picks?
Just more consolidation trades, I guess. I don't know.
I guess like what you just like slowly start moving up the ladder. Like if it doesn't work out this year, you've got a guy, you just try to move off of them and you load them up with picks to try to go get someone better.
Who's the next unhappy superstar? OKC may have enough to get him. Like, that's just...
I mean, probably Kawhi with the Clippers, maybe.
I don't know if I would do that if I was the Thunder.
No, I wouldn't. You said
Brandon Ingram is like the most unhappy player, maybe.
Yeah.
But he's not a superstar, and he's going to be wanting a max soon. So.
Yeah.
Trying to think of like anyone else off the top of my head. Like,
I'm gonna run through teams real quick.
Nikola Jokic. No, I'm just kidding. Like they have to be, again, the consolidation move where they just continue using all these picks. I don't know how they would do it. Like sell high on.
I don't know. Maybe whoever gets the number 1 pick, they're just like, all right.
Oh my God! Don't even put that in the air.
Here's a dozen first-round picks for the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, either Cooper Flag or AJ in 2 years. Like,
yeah, just be like, here's every first-round pick that we can trade, and there's 10 of them. We'll set you up for life, or for the rest of your rebuild. or you get this one guy, you know,
Yeah.
just dangle that in front of him. Maybe even a couple of good role players also.
Yeah. Like maybe like Jason Wallace or someone. Just like he had a great year.
Yeah.
Anyway, any parting thoughts? Do you think that hold on, before we close this, do you think this team actually makes it to the NBA finals and or wins the NBA finals?
Win it? I don't think so. But as far as making it, I still haven't made my full predictions for the season yet. But right now, they're my favorite to come out of the West.
Me too.
Just purely based off of, you know, I don't think last year was an overperformance. I truly think they are that good. And I know I brought up that they stayed healthy, but I truly think they are that good and they're that deep, barring like, you know, horrific season-ending injuries to like two of their main players, two of their stars. Like if Shea goes down a month into the season, knock on wood, because I hate to put that into the universe. But if that were to happen, like obviously, yeah. But for the most part, on paper, I think they're going to be my pick out of the West. My unbiased pick as of a different team. They are the clear-cut favorites to come out of the West.
Me too. I mean, yeah, again, like the health luck can work against him in the sense that, like, again, regress to the mean. Again, hopefully none of these guys get injured. I don't want to see any players get injured. But in a sense, like that was Sacramento last year, where Sacramento entered last year with the Bills' health luck the year before, or arguably the Bills' health luck, and then two unfortunate. I mean, they weren't like a contender anyway, but two unfortunate injuries to Malik Monk and Herder. Kind of not derail their season, but it kind of derailed their season.
Oh yeah.
And so, I mean, I actually do think this team makes the finals. They're my favorite too. Again, Denver's obviously another candidate who they're always in contention because they have the best player on the planet in Nikola Jokic. He and Shea are going to be going at it for MVP. At least I presume. Should both guys stay healthy, I think both teams are going to be. I mean, I'd not say jostling for the number one seed, but I do think Oklahoma City does end up being the number one seed by the end of the year. Again, I think like the getting bounced, and I want to say it was 6 games to Dallas. Like I think that's like a fueling factor for them. Like I feel like they're going to be motivated from that experience. And I think they're going to come back even more hungry, even more motivated, even more strong. And again, like I think coaching matters in any sport, but the NBA does too. Even though you need talent to win, I think coaching does matter once you get to the playoffs. And I think Mark Dagnall is like one of the best head coaches in the entire league. And I just think everything that he's gotten out of this team, I think the last 3 years, 4 years, I don't know how long he's been there exactly, but he's been phenomenal with the player development and getting the most out of his guys. And I think like you need that the leadership factor, being a leader of men. He's done all that, and so I think they are the team that makes it out of the West. Any parting thoughts?
They're gonna be fun, man. I'm truly looking forward. I'm gonna try to, if I can, that be one of the games I go to in Memphis this year. Just try to catch them in OKC because they're that good, and I like watching this OKC team.
No, me too. They're absolutely one of like the more fun teams to watch in the entire league. Even like some of their other like role players like Kendrick Williams and Jalen Williams, not Jalen Williams, the J Dub, but J Will.
Yeah.
There's too many Jalen Williams for me to keep track of. I want to say I don't remember if he was in this most recent draft class or if he's going to be in the next one, but there was even another Jalen Williams.
Yep.
And so, yeah, there's too many Jalen Williams, but all of them are good. So I guess I can't complain about that part of things.
Yeah, no. So parents, if you want your kid to be an NBA star, and your last name is Williams, Name your son Jalen. He will go to the NBA.
Correct. Anyways, Jackson, thank you for joining me. Please, everyone, please go like and subscribe. Please go check out our other 2024-25 NBA season previews. We'll be uploading them on the YouTube channel. Please go subscribe to Vendetta Media, as you see at the bottom of your screen. Please go check all of our written stuff on the website, vendettasportsmedia.com. I'll be writing a bunch of NBA previews. So will the team. MLB is in full swing with the postseason. We've had like so many unbelievably crazy moments, and it's only the divisional series.
Yeah.
NHL season just started this last week. The NFL season's in full swing. College football's in full swing. Please go check out Trey's draft notes. Obviously, UFC. James does great work over there. In addition to Jerry, in addition to Anthony Miranda, practically everything that you can think of is on vendettasportsmedia.com. So please go check all of that stuff out. All of our content there. My name is Matt. This is Jackson Law. Thank y'all for watching. See y'all next time.